Dear diary, I'm back again today with another perfume first impression. This is not really a full perfume review, but I would really want to record my first impression here. So today I am testing Chipmunk by Zoologist, and the sample of 0.7 ml, which is very limited, which is not enough, that I got from Lucky Scent. So it's a small sample, so I treasure every drop of it, but I really enjoy the smell of it. Now let's talk about the initial stage. I dab it on, Lucky Scent has this dabble kind of sample. So I dabbed it on, I almost finished empty. I almost finished half of that dabber vial. It's too little. Like I said, it's not enough for me to test it out. So at first, I got this sawdusty kind of woody scent. Yes, it's really realistic of sniffing the tree bark. I have this experience of going to the park near my house, and there would be trees all around, not specifically oak tree, but other, shorter trees. And I always like to touch the trees. I will hold my son's hand to touch the trees and also to sniff the tree bark. There is this sawdusty, a little bit green, but it's not like grassy green or not grassy green, not leafy green. That is the plant-like quality that is emitting from plants. And there is some not quite roasted, but very raw, almost very raw, like unripe kind of nutty scent. It's not like a roasting hazelnut or roasting chestnut or something like that. It's not. It's quite herbaceous, like almost plant-like, and sniffing from the tree bark. So that is all I get from the beginning. I'm not sure how it would develop later, so I'll check in later with the development. So now 30 minutes have passed, and now let's talk about the development of this perfume, Chipmunk by Zoologist. So before this 30 minutes mark, I noticed that the green quality that I've described just now, almost vegetal, almost plant-like, almost raw, unripe nuttiness, have softened down a little bit, have toned down a little bit. And what is interesting is there's some bright note, there's some bright citrusy sweet undertone. It's not all citrusy, like all lemony, all bergamoty, or all orangey. It's not like that. It's still like a setting of a forest with some fruits, very bright fruits, very tart, citrusy fruit, but it's not really in my face. It's not really like forefront in the center. It's an undertone, a very bright undertone, just like the sunshine that filters through the leaves of this forest, and it's very, very enjoyable. It's like a slight air of this happy, citrusy, bright undertone that is more prominent now. The aromatic nuttiness is still there, less green, but the aromatic quality mixed with the bright undertone, it's perfect. This stage, it's just perfect for me. I really enjoy this one. It really sings the tune of a happy song in a forest. I'll check in 2 hours later to see how it develops some more on my skin. Meanwhile, I am trying to stop myself from checking the notes because I just don't want to, I just want my nose to lead my olfactive journey and not my brain, not my brain of reading information from internet and try to adjust what I smell to what I read. I don't want that. I want my nose to lead this journey. So I'll check in 2 hours later. So it has been an hour since I first dabbed Chipmunk on, and let's see how it develops after an hour. After an hour, the citrusy undertone dries down a little bit. As it is not as exciting as it was in the development to the mid. So the citrusy undertone is a little bit pulled back to the background, and the whole imagery that this fragrance is giving me at this 1 hour mark is a very warm forest. I would imagine that the chipmunk is living up in the trees, and as the forest warm up, the chipmunk would be in his or her little tiny warm house up in the tree, and there would be some distance from the ground to the tree. So I would imagine the moist of the ground is slowly, rising up with the heat of the forest. So there is a little tiny bit of dryness with a touch of earthiness from the ground that is slowly warming up in this forest, rising in the air to the place to the high tree, to the tall trees that the chipmunks are living in. So it's very warming, it's very inviting, and it's very calming at the same time. But it's not like a fresh scent. It's not like up in the mountain kind of cool and refreshing scent. It's rather a warm and inviting, but in a very dusty, I would say a little bit sweet kind of warm, lingering scent. So that is the mid after the development of this beautiful citrusy undertone that comes out before this warm sensation. I hope I'm articulating my thoughts clearly. If I am not, then I would have to improve. But this is the diary. I'm going to just go with the flow and say what I have in my mind. And hopefully my thoughts, my words put my thoughts in good arrangement so that people can hear me and understand me. So after the 2nd hour mark, now it is the 2nd hour mark of wearing chipmunk, I would say that there is a sweetness. There is undeniably a very calming sweetness. This sweetness is not like the candy-ish sweetness. This is more like I don't know how to describe this. This is like a sweetness mixed with the nuts. Yes, I would say that the nuts come back into play. The hazelnuts kind of aromatic quality just comes back into the show, and there is a sweetness. This is just a very slight sweet quality. Like it's a very low degree of sugariness, but it's dripping in its, I would imagine that the sweetness is dripping in its honey nectar form. I would imagine that the chipmunk is now out from the house and out and climbing about, jumping around and jumping from trees to trees, going very quickly. And then sometimes the chipmunks will go down to the ground, and there would be this dry leaves, there would be these flowers, wildflowers, and these chipmunks just, when the chipmunks pass by all these plants and all these things that are on the forest ground, the sweet floral nectar just somehow got stuck and carried by this chipmunk. And it's a very happy scent, It's a happy, but not like an exciting kind of way. It's a happy, contented, satisfactory kind of scent. So that, I don't know. Remember just now I just mentioned something about the dried leaves on the ground, and now I do get that sensation. Like there's some dried yellow leaves on the ground. It smells a little bit like that now. And this happy chipmunk just go and pick all the chestnuts, and it is now climbing back onto the tree again. This is just a lovely, lovely, lovely Zoologist Chipmunk. I think I would get a bottle of this sometimes in the future, but definitely this is what I would buy. I have bought 2 full bottles of Zoologist. I have bought Hummingbird and Camel, but I sold Camel because I don't think I wear that quite often, so I let that go. But this Chipmunk is something I like, something that I think it's quite easy to wear, and also it is a very calming scent, like a personal scent for me. I don't think it projects all that much on my skin, but I think that this is not supposed to be a very loud scent anyway. Well, let's see how long it lasts. But for now it's 2 hours. It is not projecting a lot, but there is a very pleasant, smooth development. I say overall this is, in my book, an 8.5 out of 10. We will check in. I will check in maybe for the longevity. So that's all for me today. Thank you for tuning in. Maybe I'll just leave the longevity in the description box anyway. So thank you for tuning in. If you are tuning into Brandy's Perfume Diary, listening to my rambling diary. So thank you. See you in the next one. Bye.